Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Thursday, the 22nd of March. So, looking then firstly at the euro dollar, my uh, possible favorite here. We just on the dailies back to this upper trend line here. Now, it really is a question of whether we can break this. If we can break this, well, we may be back for the monthly R1 there at 24.38. Otherwise, if it stalls where we are, well, we could see a bit of a correction, but it's very difficult with this pair at the moment. I mean, they're chopping from one side to the other, down day and up day, um, all sorts in between. Yesterday, well, it chopped for hours, but mainly waiting for the Fed. That finally did sell off partial, but then rallied. Got a divergence kicking in at the moment, just about sitting there. Let's just check and see. Yeah, it's on the MACD as well as the RSI. So there's a bit of an hourly divergence kicking in there, and it's a question of whether this will hold or whether we'll see this run through. Of course, this bar's not finished yet either. It's pre 8 o'clock, 7:28 as I recall this, but if it starts rolling from here, well, we could be looking back towards the 60-20s, maybe some more back towards the daily pivot as a bit of a retrace. A lot of this movement happening through the yesterday's US session stroke into through the Asian session there. But as I say, it is a divergence that's kicking in at the moment, and it might roll. Now, it also has a pivot swing there, which just confuses it a little bit, which means if we see a buying above the highs there, we could see a continuation to the upside, and that's where I'd be looking at that monthly pivot, which is not that far ahead in real terms. It could be hitting it within a day maybe. Okay, so that's where we are with the euro. Bit of indecision in terms of what the charts are showing us there. Okay, news-wise, we have got some news out on the euro this morning. 8:30, we got two lots of news. We got the French and German manufacturing data. It can give 20 pip sort of pushes on that, just to warn, so you can get some medium volatility kicking through there. But moving to the pound, and this is where we should see possibly more volatility this morning at 9:30. Once again, this time we've got retail sales coming out. So let's have a run back into the dailies here and see what's happened. Already here, it's continued. Yesterday was surging and it's pushing up relatively strong at the moment. It's just run into this weekly R3, but it looks like, well, at this stage, it looks like it's just pushing on through it. I'm sure the money flow must be sitting up pretty high there, and certainly it's almost extreming here. So on the 4-hourly, so not far off it, not closed into it. But once again, there is a bit of a divergence into that area, but maybe it wants to run into its daily R1 foot before it did any made any changes or rolled over. But it is again a bit of a pivot swing, bullish side of things, divergence, bearish side of things. So it's a case of just waiting for the pattern to really show us something this morning. Maybe a bit of a retracement on the shorter time frames may give us a long into such as the R1. But it's not a clear picture. Although the one thing with the pound is it is running with higher lows all of the time. Okay, dollar yen. Dollar yen, well, correction on the 60 minutes, didn't really go the way you would have expected it on the dailies yesterday. It did sell to a degree. It's been hampered by pivots, say that again, by options and being held in hampered. That's the word. If only I could say it this time in the morning. Hampered by options, expiries, etc., which have been really pinning it between 106, 107. But the bigger numbers have been around about the 106 area. Not too clear where they are this morning, but maybe we'll have some kicking around once again. But it does look at some point, forget options and everything else, it does look at some point that it may correct them more to the downside there. It's been promising. It's broken a little trend line that runs across the lows there. We'll see how it moves. just having a quick look to see. There's nothing I can see at the moment otherwise. Right, okay. So can't see anything there. Right, so that's the yen from the daily point of view. Has just come down a little bit. Divergence through yesterday with a spike there later on. At the moment, it looks like it may correct further to the downside, but well, daily pivot above may cause a draw, but I think if we see the euro, the pound correcting and continuing their upside, this may follow suit and run back towards those early week the lows from the early part of the week there. Okay, and Aussie dollar. So Aussie dollar, big bullish engulfing bar yesterday, managed to get back up to that weekly pivot eventually. It did drop into a new low yesterday, but as I say, so it's a bullish engulfing key reversal bar. But can it hold on to it? It's not managed too well in the past here, and well, it's not diverged at this stage here, but maybe it's got some legs in it yet. Nice bounce off the daily pivot here, which could see it at least go in and challenge those highs and back towards that weekly pivot if it retains strength. The thing is, I think we're really looking at the dollar strength or dollar weakness as it may be here, and it would be interesting to see if this happens at the same time the pound and euro continues up. This is probably got a more defined target in some respects. Having hit the daily pivot, it may find it a little bit easier to some extent to push up there. And finally, the Canadian dollar. If only it will load. Oh, there it is. Canadian dollar. So bigger correction yesterday, solid movement down. The trend line that I've got on here, I'm going to extend that. It's been broken just about. It's just sort of breaking it at the moment. The daily 21 may just hold it, and this is what you've got to be watching for this morning. If it starts breaking through that, well, the next sort of level would be this 4-hourly 200 to the downside, which may occur. So again, there's divergence on the hourlies though, so there's no difference to a lot of these other markets at the moment. Is that you've got a divergence one way. It's not quite well, I don't know, maybe a small pivot swing there as well, sitting there, which is bearish on this one for the downside. So again, conflict, and it may be that this morning you just need to wait and see which direction it starts moving in, and if there's enough meat on the bone to trade in that direction to target. So that's pretty much where we are. News-wise today, said retail sales in for UK at 9:30 there. And of course, I should have said also for the UK, we've got the official bank rate and at 12 o'clock. So volatility to kick in around about 12 o'clock for us. There's no expected change there. Maybe the volatility will be stifled unless there's no there's no speech in this particular meeting. So it's just what comes with the summary, the monetary policy summary becomes so much more important when it's like this. Of course, the voting as well. So we'll see what happens there. That's it for me. Have a great day. Bye for now.